Hello everyone. I hope you guys are doing really well. So my name is Tilok Shadukan. First of all, I'll just give you a brief introduction about me. So I did my BSc and MSc in physics, both in physics, correspondingly from West Bengal State University and CSJMU Kanpur. And apart from that, I have got involved in various research projects, which includes radar meteorology, which is my research project, which was my MSc dissertation project, and apart from that, I did an internship in IIT BHU on the topic of data science. So in this video, I'm just going to discuss about 100 hours of planning of 12th standard physics, which is in CBSE board. Right. So first of all, let's see what kind of chapters are there in the CBSE board and what is basically the syllabus, which is here is the syllabus. So as we can see that there is a 9 units and 14 chapters, each including various topics. And so electrostatics, current, electricity, magnetic effects, current and magnetism, electric magnetic induction and alternative currents, electromagnetic waves, optics, a dual nature of radiation and matter, atoms and nuclei, electric devices, electronic devices. So these are the 9 sections, and in each section there is around two or one chapters, at around two or one chapters, which will be in each section, and which concludes that there is 14 chapters. So as we have a minimum amount of hours of 100 hours in 2 months, so I'll just give a rough idea about how many hours I should give, or how many hours uh, I will put in each of the chapters on an average. So as if you do the math, we will have a minimum of 100 hours for 14 chapters. So in a month, we'll get to do around 7 chapters, which is per chapter there will be 4 days, four point something days. So 4 days means 8 hours. So I'll just give around 10 hours, right? So I can devote around maximum number of 10 hours per a particular chapter. So for a particular chapter, I can devote around 10 hours. Another particular chapter, I can devote around 10 hours, and so on. So that is quite the rough idea. But as there are some chapters which have a long duration, and there are like long formats, long derivations, and which essentially takes longer time. And there are also some chapters which are really small, and um, there is nothing actually derivation, and you just have to read, and you can read it on your own. I'll just give you some the discussions, and you can just read on your own, and you can put a conclusion, and you can understand that those chapters pretty well. So those chapters, there will be less time, and I can devote less time to those chapters, and I can allocate less time to those chapters. And whereas there are various chapters where I or where around 10 hours I'll give around 10 hours in each. uh, Sorry. So the bigger chapters may consume 14 to 15 hours as well, and the smaller chapter consumes maybe around 5 to 6 hours. So I'll just say on an average, I'll give 10 hours per chapter. So I'll just say the 10 hours per chapter. Let's discuss about a little bit of about what kind of chapters we do have. The first chapter is electric charges and fields, where some various applications, some various derivations, interesting facts, and some concepts are there. So I'll just take so it will take a little bit of long time to understand and grasp this particular chapter, which is electric charge and field. And there are various things, and maybe 10 hours, approximately 10 hours will be enough. So 10 hours will be enough for this chapter. As I hope 10 hours will be much longer, but I hope at least I would need 8 to 10 hours. So 8 to 10 hours I can I it, the chapter will take to get done. Similarly, the next chapter is electrostatic potential and capacitance, which is also some involves some sort of understanding and concepts. So electrostatic potential and capacitance, I'll just give around 10 hours maybe. Yeah, 10 hours will be enough for this chapter. Again, in the next chapter, which is the current electricity, which is the 9 sections, and this will have some amount of time. And if uh, again, these chapters are quite long. You may think these chapters are quite long, but there is nothing, no like huge derivations or calculations, so I can complete these chapters uh, pretty soon. So around 7 to 8 hours will be enough for this chapter. 7 to 8 hours will be enough for this chapter. And yeah, that's it, because there is some various application of Kirchhoff rules, but and Wheatstone bridge. But apart from that, there is just pure like conceptual things. There is no derivation and all of these things. So this will take very less amount of time as in current electricity. Next chapter is moving charges and magnetism, which is a conceptual chapter, and you have to go through rigorously and to understand the concepts of this particular chapter. So I'll just take around 14. Sorry, I'll just take around 14 hours. Sorry, I'll just take around 14 hours to complete these kind of concepts and the chapters, and 14 hours will be enough. I suppose so. Next chapter, which is the magnetism and the matter, which is there are 6 sections in this particular chapter, and these are the not quite hard to grasp concept, but as you can see, there is some topics like magnetic properties of materials like paramagnetic, diamagnetic, and ferromagnetic substances with examples. These are the like for example, and you have just to go through. And if you go through these sections, you will able to understand the things. There is nothing like not a huge deal or derivations involving in this chapter, so I'll take very less amount of time to complete this chapter, because just there is just some very important country some like some very examples like bar magnet is equivalent solenoid, which is doesn't involves any sort of derivation, but it just a conceptual thing. That's it. There is nothing gimmicky about it. So that is going to be my magnetism and matter, and which again I'll just give around 8 to 10 hours for this particular chapter. And in the next chapter, which is the electromagnetic induction, again this is a very small chapter and very without any sort of any rigorous derivation. So I'll just give around 6 to 7 hours in this chapter. And alternating current, again this is actually this chapter I'll do at the end of all chapter, because as you can see, this LCS series circuit and resonance with power in AC circuits, these involves are quite complicated derivations which may take long actually. So and it's quite hard to grasp as well, as it may seem really complicated at first instance. So I'll just say I'll complete this chapter at the end of all chapter, because it involves around a little bit of complicated ideas. I'll allocate this 14 hours for this particular chapter, but I'll just do it at the end of all chapters. Next chapter is electromagnetic waves. Again, I'll just give around 6 hours will be enough for this chapter, because there is nothing very complicated things about this chapter. But by the way, this chapter is really interesting because this chapter involves light. What is light, and light as an electromagnetic wave, and a lot of these things. Quite that is quite interesting. So again, ray optics and optimal instrument. I'll just give around 9 hours in this chapter, because this does not involve any complex derivation. Just no. Actually, my bad. Actually, I'll just give around 14 hours in this chapter, because there is some things like is a lens maker formula, magnification, power of a lens. These are the things like you have to go through rigorously and to make sure to understand these things pretty well, because these things builds these things have involves a little bit of concentration and You have to go through rigorously to understand these things. So I'll just give around 14 hours. The next, wave optics, again I'll just give around 10 to 11 hours for this chapter. And again, the dual nature or radiation of the matter, I'll just, these are the things, like if you study by yourself you will realize that these are the chapters are really interesting and really easy. So just because these chapters doesn't involve a lot of derivations and a lot of ideas, but complicated derivations, but it just involves just some simple language, which you can read and understand by your own. So I'll just give around 7 hours for this chapter. And the next chapter is atom. Again, the same thing that I've already said in the for the previous chapter, which is 11th chapter. And I'll just give around 10 hour for this particular thing. Next section in the 13, the nuclei, I'll just give around maybe 7 hours. Yeah, 7 hours will be enough for this particular chapter. And in the semiconductor, electronics and materials, these are the quite interesting chapter, which is intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors, p type and n type junction. These are quite interesting, so you could just go through, you'll understand and enjoy a lot as well. So I'll just put around I'll just give around 9 hours. So 9 hours will be enough for this chapter. So that is the whole roadmap that I am just have just shown you.